All right, it is 7:15 on the other side, traffic and weather. We'll continue this conversation. I want to check in with Felicia Stoler. She's running for Congress. She's kind of a health expert. She's got an interesting perspective and a story. We'll check in with her after traffic and weather next. Jersey on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning, talking Jersey. Taking your calls, 1-800-283-101.5. All right, I'm going to check in with Felicia Stoler. Felicia and I have had conversations over the past couple of years. I've had her as a guest on Chasing News. She's been a guest here. She is now running for Congress. Good morning, Felicia. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thanks, Bill, for having me on.
So tell me what inspired you to run. I mean, you're running in the 4th district, and you're running as an independent.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I had brought this up, Felicia, before, that 3.5 million people did not vote who were eligible in the last gubernatorial election. You could elect a statewide candidate if all the unaffiliated voters just decided, you know what, we're going to vote this time.
Right. Well, what's interesting in my district is 45% of our district are unaffiliated voters. So if you take it one step back and consider that only 10% of voters choose to vote in or participate in the primary, a very small number of people get to decide who's even on the two main parties' ballot spot, and so then those 45%, why should they only have two choices on the ballot? If they choose not to be a member of either of those parties, they should definitely have viable candidate options on the general election ballot, especially for U.S. Congress. So what inspired me, just to answer?
Yeah, it's okay. No, but look, Felicia, I appreciate that commentary because that is the point, isn't it? That we've got.
That's what I keep sharing with people over and over.
Yeah, we don't have enough people.
Their head. Right.
Well, we don't have enough people that feel empowered that their vote even matters. So you've got people literally just walking away like, well, look, we expect that that things are just going to be the way they are.
Right, and then people complain about the status quo, and I always say to people, did you go out and vote? That's the most important thing, and especially in these types of elections, every single vote counts, whether it be a state election or whether it be for a congressional or Senate candidate. Every single person's vote counts. There's no electoral college when it comes to that.
You're right. So tell me that, because I only got a couple minutes. I want to know what inspired you to run.
So I've been doing healthcare advocacy as a volunteer for the Dietetic Association and the American College of Sports Medicine for over 15 years. I've been on the Governor's Council for Physical Fitness and Sports for 15 years through 3 governors. I've served on other national committees. And when I've gone down to meet with other Congress people and senators, they've said, you should think about running. We need people like you. We need people that have very specific skill sets to help solve some of our big problems. And so when you think about that, just on the nutrition perspective and the health perspective, there are 21 committees in Congress, 7 of which have oversight in the area of nutrition and health. And there are very few physicians in Congress, and there's not one dietitian that's in Congress right now.
That's amazing. Think about that with the state of healthcare. And, we talk about diabetes, we talk about obesity, you talk about just healthy living. I mean, I feel like it's a struggle every day to make sure you're eating right. And it's so hard because there's so many hidden dangers in food. I actually, and this happened about maybe 10 years ago, I started looking at ingredients and I don't buy things with high fructose corn syrup in it, and because it's like everything you're eating is sugar and we wonder why we have a problem.
Right. So if you think about just that as one problem, right, where I have some expertise in that, I've spent a lot of time around farmers. I understand agriculture and then, hence the environment. I've been an entrepreneur for 2 decades. I've been an educator at Brookdale, Kane, and Rutgers University. I just feel like I have a real wide skill set, a professional background. I worked as a paralegal in a big Wall Street law firm. I worked at ABC News before. I mean, I'm bringing 30 years of very diverse work experience to the table. And, the nice thing is my children are older, so I can really devote myself completely to doing the job of Congresswoman. And I promise everybody, I will live in New Jersey and work in Washington. That's the way it's supposed to be. Our members of Congress only have to be there Tuesday afternoon through Thursday afternoon.
So let me ask you, Felicia, if this doesn't work out, will you stay in the public eye, or will you think about running? And I know, look,
I will run again.
Well, more importantly, will you run locally? Would you run for state senate? Would you run for state assembly?
Honestly, the types of problems that I want to solve, I don't think they really work on at the state level. I mean, some of it a little bit with healthcare, but I'm really looking at changing some, overarching issues.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem, and it probably doesn't help that some of my personal friends have those jobs right now.
All right, fair enough. How do people find you? I got to jump for news, but tell me, how do people get in touch with you?
Felicia Stoler for Congress. I'm everywhere as, Felicia Stoler for Congress, or Stoler and the number 4 and Congress on Twitter.
Stoler.
ER.
So Stoler, number 4, Congress.
The inclusion candidate.
All right, Felicia, always nice to talk to you. Thanks for joining me this morning. Good luck.
I appreciate it.
All right, you take care. That is Felicia Stoler running for Congress. What I like about Felicia is she's honest, she's upfront. It is refreshing to talk to people that just want to serve. 728, Eric Scott, come back with the news.